I'm starting this course with a few stories from women that I have supported through VBACs because I think it's really powerful to hear these stories, to know that it is absolutely possible. Because yeah, we hear the statistics on VBACs, but when you actually hear stories of women who went through it, I feel like that can be really empowering. And I do want to note that while I received permission to share these stories, I did change the names of the women whose stories I will be sharing. And so this first one is about Jamie. And it's about the power of finding the right medical care provider to support you in the process of trying to have a VBAC. So Jamie interviewed 15 different care providers in her search for one who would support a VBAC. And after 2 months of searching in her local area, she found that there was not a doctor in a 50-mile radius who would support her. She, interviewed numerous doctors, and she was consistently told things like, you care more about your ego than your baby's life, or that she was uneducated or irresponsible, and that she would likely fail to have a VBAC, even though she was a great candidate for a VBAC. And so she told me, I'm completely disgusted and disheartened by this process. And what she told me is the only thing these doctors care about is being sued, which I don't know if that was true or not, but that was her feeling. That was the feeling that she came away with after interviewing all of these care providers. So what Jamie eventually decided to do was to drive 2 hours to be cared for by a group of midwives that worked out of a university hospital in the closest city to Jamie, again, about 2 hours away. These midwives, the doctors there, they were pro VBAC. They confirmed first and foremost, because this is the most important thing, that Jamie was an excellent candidate to try for a VBAC. They shared the latest information with her about VBACs. Essentially, a lot of this information showed that for women, again, that are good candidates for a VBAC, that option is oftentimes a lot safer than having a repeat C-section. And almost all of the data that they provided contradicted what Jamie had been told by all of those care providers that she had initially interviewed. And so Jamie, she goes into labor. She was staying at a hotel near the hospital for about a week before her due date, just to make sure it was easy to get there. Her labor comes on strong and fast. She was fully dilated about 30 minutes after she was admitted to the hospital, so it was going pretty fast, but she did have high blood pressure, so she received an epidural to try to lower that. And then it was really amazing. She just slipped into this total state of serenity. She kept telling people, how empowered and excited she felt. She felt fully supported. And then she decided that she felt ready to push. And she pushed and she pushed and she pushed, and that baby was not coming out. And I heard a nurse tell one of the midwives, if we were at the last hospital I worked at, they would have given her a C-section 2 hours ago. There's no way they would have let her go this long. But the thing was, Jamie was healthy and the baby was healthy. So the midwives just let her continue to push, to rest, to push, to essentially do what felt most natural to her. And with gentle encouragement, Jamie eventually had the baby. It took a long time for the baby to come out after Jamie was fully dilated, but that baby came out healthy, screaming her little head off. And when I talked to Jamie a few weeks later about her birth, she said, I'm so happy that I did have a VBAC, but she's like, even if I ended up needing to have another C-section, I think I would have been okay with that because I felt so supported, so heard, so respected by all of my care providers that I know that they wouldn't have recommended another C-section unless it was actually necessary. They wouldn't have just recommended it because they wanted to speed things up or just lower their risk of liability. She said that she really felt like she could trust them, which made her okay with the idea of a repeat C-section if that's how it all played out. And so this is the essence of what a lot of women are looking for when seeking a care provider for their VBAC. You know, they're usually not looking for somebody that will just go to any lengths to get them a VBAC. You know, we of course want someone who understands the value of a VBAC, you know, is willing to support a woman who is in a safe position to have one, and above all, of course, keep the mother and the baby healthy. And again, like that trust is so important. You want somebody that you can trust to support you in your choices and that is going to be one of your staunchest advocates. That is what you deserve if you are trying for a VBAC. And, you know, being cared for by somebody like that, somebody that makes you feel that trust and empowerment, it helps a lot of women loosen their grip on, you know, this desire for birth to unfold in an exact way. And they instead are able to trust that the birth will unfold in whatever way it needs to. Again, even if that means another C-section. So we're going to get into the specifics in this course on how to find an amazing care provider like that. But I just wanted to share Jamie's story because I found it to be so inspirational.